Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first ever episode of Tabletop Trenches here on the channel. My name is Ed.
I'm Travis.
Now, if you've been watching the channel for a while, you'll probably have seen one of the shows that we do, which is the Mana Cave, in which we play live paper magic. This is the same sort of idea, only we're going to be mixing it up, and we're going to be playing a variety of different tabletop games. Some games that we like, we'll be playing more than once. Some games that we're thinking of playing are going to be legacy games, where there's going to be more than one in a series. We're going to do our very first one on a game which I did not think this was actually the very first game that we did for Tabletop Trenches, but in the end, I've never played it yet. Actually sat and played it.
It's a TCG.
Yeah.
So it bridges the gap.
Yeah, exactly. It's sort of a nice in-between of where we started with the Mana Cave and where we're going to go with this one. So it's a trading card game which also uses dice as well too. It is the Star Wars Destiny card / dice game.
Star Wars Destiny.
Star Wars Destiny, yes. I'm going to, for those of you unfamiliar with the game, I'm going to link a tutorial that shows you how to play, so you have sort of an idea of it. We're not going to necessarily we're going to talk a bit about the how to play aspect of it because we're both started learning the game. So as we play, we're going to try to go through that. But there is going to be a video which is going to be much better for you guys to learn from. Yes. Yeah. And I may link another video as well too, which I found useful at some point, either on screen, probably popping up above your head, or in the description below. So you can look out for that. And if you'd like to watch those first before you start watching this, then that's fine. Or if you're familiar with Star Wars Destiny, by all means, please let us know maybe where we make missteps, maybe some advice, anything like that. Like any feedback you can give us in the comment section is going to be much appreciated. However, we're going to try our best to muddle through the first game in a brand new series, so not sure how smoothly this is going to go, but we're going to do our level best.
I did my homework.
Yes. Yeah, well, I did too, right? So, but we are playing with two of the starter decks. I'm going to be playing with the Luke Skywalker starter deck.
I'll be playing with the Boba Fett.
Yes.
Boba Fett, I know.
Boba
I
Fett.
know. He's not a baby.
And you also have our starting characters, which will
slow down, okay. My backup character is a veteran Stormtrooper. Who's your backup character exactly?
It's Han Solo. So, it's pretty even. They're about equally matched within the Star Wars universe, I think, right?
Boba Fett and a veteran Stormtrooper against Luke Skywalker and Han Solo.
Yes. Yeah, and
I like being the underdog.
Yeah. Well,
Galactic Empire with a crazy bounty hunter underdog.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, right? One of us had to pick the dark side. Travis decided to pick the dark side. I went for the light side.
I thought I'd get to play as Vader or the Emperor. You weren't like...
No, we can't start yet. So you gotta start small, right? And keep in mind, this is Luke Skywalker, unlikely hero. This is when he's still, not using, a lightsaber yet, really, for the most part. He's using a blaster for the most part. So
pretty sure you have lightsaber card.
He's not a full-on Jedi yet.
Jedi? Whoa.
So for those of you unfamiliar with the game, we're going to each have these two characters, which we've just briefly talked about. They come with certain dice. That's going to sort of fuel the game. Now, once again, this isn't going to be necessarily a tutorial as to how to play, but you may learn a little bit from it because
we're learning.
We're learning as well, too. So one thing before we start, because we are using the pre-constructed starter sets like we mentioned before, but during an opening for this, and I'll link that as well too, for both of those starter sets, I also opened a booster for Star Wars, the Awakenings set. So one of the things we've done is we've taken 3 cards each from those boosters, and we're going to be adding them to the regular sort of starter set deck, because the starter set deck actually doesn't have enough cards to be a fully legal deck. It's got 20 cards as opposed to the 30, so we do have some wiggle room.
Well, these things are printed on cardboard,
Yeah,
I can't give out too much of that.
Let's not be too critical on what why the starter sets. I think maybe that's because it gives you room to add directly to the starter sets. That's my assumption, anyways. So we are going to be adding 3 cards. Now you get to add
a rare
that comes with a die. So why don't you go over the cards that you're going to be adding to your starter set first?
I'll be adding a rare called Cunning, and that's an upgrade ability for yellow characters only. However, Boba Fett is yellow. I can use a special ability on another card as a card in play, as if it were my card. And that costs 1 ability, which dice are.
So you'd have to roll that on the die, and then you'd be able to use it from that.
Yeah. The other one is a 0 costing resource. When that one was 2, I don't know if I mentioned that. For Hunker Down, another upgrade ability, if attached character takes melee damage, discard this upgrade. I'm assuming that means... Oh, no, just if it takes it, not, void all damage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the action though is exhaust this upgrade to give attached character 1 shield. Before I go on, I'm probably going to use a lot of magic terms to describe this game.
It's sort of going to be the
I've found it a lot on other games, like
it's going to be the
Pandemic.
bridge between now, like one of the examples is that this is exhausting a creature,
not tap,
or a creature. Well, there we go, right off the bat, a character.
Planeswalker.
This is a readied one, so we may refer to it as being tapped. That's not what it is. We are actually talking about activating.
Yeah.
That's the difference, sort of thing. So there may be certain things where we do relate it, but not just because of our experience being with Magic, but also because a lot of the people that have been watching the channel up to this point have been watching a lot because of Magic content. So it helps. It might help you guys as well too. So.
We do it outside of the games too.
Yeah. So
the third and final for me is unpredictable. It is an event, and it says ambush. You may take 1 additional action after you play this card. Reroll a die. Pardon me, yours or an opponent's.
Yeah, that one actually seems. I mean, it's a common card, but when I saw that when I was doing the opening, that one seemed good. Yeah. Ambush on its own seems quite good because normally, like, you would do an action and then I would do an action, you would do an action, but that allows you to do that and then do another action on top of it. So, and then being able to reroll someone else's die it seems like a decent ability. Yeah. Because a lot of this, from what I've seen in the tutorials, there's obviously a luck factor because it has to do with dice, but it seems to be a game of probability manipulation more than just simply, rolling the dice and there you go, because you can constantly re-roll your own dice, force an opponent to re-roll dice, have them take dice away, sort of thing. So everything's not set in stone the second after you roll some dice.
Sorry, I thought I read one thing too where it's just change a result on a dice.
Oh, okay.
And it's like, change? You just got to choose how the dice roll?
Yeah, you can actually, for some, you'll be able to choose. Like, if I rolled a blank on Han here, I could actually, some abilities would allow me to pick what side I want and then go, no, it's going to be this side instead.
That's not how dice work.
Yeah, exactly. So
it is here.
It's not set in stone the second the dice are cast. So the cards that I'll be adding, those are the cards that you're adding, and we'll go over our characters in just a second as well, too, as far as what their abilities are. The cards that I'm going to be adding are Patience, which is an event card. Remove any number of your dice, then discard cards from the top of an opponent's deck equal to the number of dice you just removed. Now, one of the other win conditions, other than destroying both of your opponent's characters, is to make it so your opponent has no cards left in their deck and no cards left in their hand.
Which we would call
milling in Magic, right? So that is a win. That is a possible win condition. So I like this card because I kind of like that. I like that idea of a win condition. Now, this deck isn't built around that, so that may not be a deciding factor, but who knows? Played at the right time, this card could be useful for that. And then we have Riposte or Riposte, depending on if you're in the US or I think the UK was the other pronunciation for it. But it is an event card as well, too, and remove any number of shields from one of your characters. Then deal damage to a character equal to the number of shields you just removed.
That seems decent, too.
It seems decent. Like the highest number of shields you can have in any character at any given time, I believe, is 3.
Yeah.
So that still means that you, out of nowhere, you could simply go from having a big defense on a character to doing immediately 3 damage to another character. And then the final card is another event card once again, and I laughed when I saw this card. It's Let the Wookiee Win. Force an opponent to choose either to deal one of their exhausted characters 2 damage, or choose and remove 2 of their dice. So I do like that. I think all these cards are going to be fun in this deck. And once again, they match the colors. There were certain cards in the booster pack that we opened that we couldn't use for either of us, either because they were hero cards and we would have wanted to use in the villain deck, or vice versa. And also because Luke Skywalker's blue, Han Solo's yellow, the veteran Stormtrooper is red, Boba Fett is yellow. So we were limited to the colors from our characters' stats. So we're gonna shuffle these up into our pre-constructed decks. And we'll be back in just a second after that is done. Okay, so we've shuffled those cards into our decks. Now, we're just going to quickly go over what our characters' abilities are. And would you like to go first for that, too?
Sure. The veteran Stormtrooper is 9. I don't really know what that exactly means.
So 9 is his life total.
Life total. Okay, that's how much damage you can take?
Yeah, that's how much damage he can take.
Okay. He has, I guess, so each of these little bars, I'm guessing, represents the side of the dice.
Yeah. So that's going to show you basically what you can expect to find on your die. Yeah.
And the 9 is that just doubling that one?
No, the 9 is the when you build your decks and you select your characters, you can only have a combined score of 30 in total. So they would be 9 plus either 12 or 16. Now, because Boba Fett's using both his dice, you're using the second of his 2 numbers, which is 16. So the total of your deck or your characters would be 25. For example, here, just to quickly skip to mine for just a second, Luke Skywalker is got 2 values of either 11 or 14. I'm using 2 of his dice, so his value is going to be 14. Han's is either 11 or 14. I'm using 1 of his, so my total value is going to be 25 as well too. So the total value between our decks is, despite the fact that obviously character-wise it seems like I've got the advantage.
It's not looking good. Yeah.
The actual total is the same. So
otherwise, he's fairly generic. Again, there's just flavor text.
Yeah, he doesn't have any sort of special abilities or anything.
So Boba Fett, who has 12 and 16 as his values, and 11 life total. He's a deadly mercenary, but he has the what is it called? It is called the
Special ability.
Special ability, and his special ability is deal damage to a character equal to the value showing on a dice. Any dice, mine or an opponent's.
Yeah.
So there's values on here. Usually, the most you're going to see, I think, is 2. There may be some really special ones that have 3. I don't know, but 2 seems to be the max, but that still seems pretty darn handy.
Keep in mind as well too, because the veteran Stormtrooper has the
3 on the
indirect damage of 3. So teamed up with him, if that were ever rolled, he could use that to do
combo.
Yeah, exactly. So,
and my battlefield would be the arid wastelands of Geonosis.
And what is its claim?
Its claim is force an opponent to lose 1 resource.
Okay. So now when you claim battlefield is basically when during the game, at some point, either you or your opponent is going to decide that they're done doing what they want to do. They'll have either the option of simply passing, which basically is sort of delaying the end, or they can be like, I'm going to claim the battlefield. And once you claim the battlefield, that is it for you. Your opponent can go ahead and do as many moves as they want to or can after that. But when you claim the battlefield, you have the option of using the claim ability. So in your case, if you were to claim this battlefield during the game, you would force me to lose 1 resource. So it could even be sort of a good timing one. Maybe you have more stuff that you could do, but it's more useful for you to make me lose a resource. So you'd be like, you know what? I'm not going to, even I have some active dice that I could use, but instead I'm just going to claim the battlefield and make you use that 1 resource. So that's going to edge me out of being able to do certain things in the game. Cool. Okay, so my characters are Han Solo, and his ability is after you activate this character, you may re-roll a die, yours or an opponent's. So I do like that. So when I turn him sideways, I can immediately either decide to re-roll one of the dice that I already have rolled, or I can force you to re-roll a dice.
Built-in luck for the smuggler.
Yeah. And he's got the 1 die as well too, because I'm using his for his 11. And as well too, the starter sets only came with 1 die for Han, as opposed to 2, giving you even the option to do 2, which I thought was a little strange, but
I guess I wanted you to even out the power of the 2
I think they didn't want. Yeah, otherwise it would have been like they would have had to then figure out another character for.
Pardon me, they're forcing you to even out the power of the 2 characters.
I would have liked the option.
Yeah,
but I'm sure you can. Yeah, there's a secondary market to these, right? So I'm sure I can pick up another one of Han's die if I ever want to use this particular character for his second value. So.
Full ability.
Yeah. Then we have Luke Skywalker, who has a power action. Spend 2 resources to resolve one of this character's character or upgrade dice, increasing its value by 2. Now, a power action is an action that you can only do once per turn. So if I'm using it this turn, I can't use it till we start the next turn, sort of thing, till after the battlefield's claimed and I've then pass my turn or vice versa, and then we move on to the next one. That's when I can use the power action again. So, and my battlefield is the Outer Rim Outpost. It is in Nal Hutta. I think that's the pronunciation. And its claim ability is gain 1 resource and draw a card. So, which seems like kind of an odd thing because you're going to refill your hand after each turn anyways. So drawing a card right when you claim it seems a little odd, but more experienced players would know why that's more useful at that time than I would. But so now what we're going to do is we shuffled up our decks already. We're going to draw our hand of 5 and decide if we're going to keep anything or if we're going to mulligan anything. Now, the way that mulliganing works in Star Wars Destiny is you can choose any number of cards in your hand and you can discard them, or set them aside and shuffle them back up into your deck and then draw that number of cards back. So you do have the potential of drawing the same card again, but it's not super, super likely. I may actually keep this whole hand.
I don't know enough, so I'm probably going to keep this whole hand.
Yeah, that's one of the other things as well, too, where it's sort of like, we were talking about this before, where from the tutorials that I've seen, one of the things that you sort of want to try to have in your opening hand are cards that are going to come with dice. So if you have none of those, that might be a good time to decide to mulligan. But after each turn, you are going to be able to draw back to 5 cards, and you get to discard cards as well too. So you're constantly able to refill your hand and sort of like get rid of some cards that may not be as useful at that time. So it seems to be that we're going to start with these 2 opening hands. So now we're going to determine which battlefield we're going to be using. Now, to do that, we're going to roll all the dice we have available, which is 3 for both of us, which is great. And then we total up the point value on them. So in my case, it is 3.
Nothing from Boba Fett. Who didn't see that coming? And 1 from the Stormtrooper.
So now I get to decide which battlefield we're going to use. Now, if I claim Travis's battlefield, he's still actually in control of the battlefield, which means that he would get to go first, but I would get to then take 2 shields and put them wherever I want on one of my characters. So, but instead, I'm going to claim my battlefield for the game. So this one is now going to leave the area, and I will be in control of the battlefield, which means I'm going to get to go first. We're going to move the dice back onto the characters here. And you are going to be able to take 2 shields and put them onto one of your characters.
Well, since they happen to be Mandalorian helmets, I think I'm going to put them both on
Boba Fett?
Boba Fett.
Okay.
Boba Fett.
Boba Fett. Boba Fett.
Let's get smiley face Boba Fett.
So now we're going to start things off, and I'm going to start off because I control the battlefield, sir.
That's helpful, actually.
And then I'm going to start by spending 1 resource, and I'm going to bring out R2-D2, which is a support droid. So he's got a special ability, and it's draw a card. You may turn one of your dice to any side. So I'm going to find R2-D2's dice, and I'm going to put that there. That is my action this turn, and now the action now goes to you. So you can decide what you'd like to do. Oh, one thing I didn't point out is that we do have these cards here, which are basically sort of cheat cards in the sense that they've got all the symbols and explaining what all the symbols do. And it also has the different types of actions that we can perform during a game. Though the one action I don't think they have listed here is pass. But we've talked about that a little bit earlier. I think we did. Not. I apologize.
Maybe I will just activate Boba Fett. I'm shooting at nothing here.
Okay.
So I think...
So to activate him, you would turn him sideways, and then you would roll both of his dice.
Seems like something you should do.
Yeah.
Way to be on the defense with my offense there. So I rolled 2, essentially, a disrupt and a disrupt.
Yeah.
So, kind of goes against my aggro feel there, but I understand those can come in handy. So
yes.
Was that my one action? Was to...
That was your one action, so now it's my action once again. And as well, too, you can discard a card from your hand if you want to and re-roll any number of dice if that's another option that you have. But for now, what I think I'm going to do... I think I'm actually going to spend 1 more resource, and I'm going to bring out an upgrade weapon, which is the hunting rifle. And I'm going to attach this.
It would be in flavor, I think, to attach it to Luke.
It would be, but I'm going to attach it to the guy who's only got 1 die, which is Han Solo here. So I'm going to then have the 1 dice for the... That's not the right card. Die. There we go. That for the hunting rifle cards. So this is now attached to Han Solo. Now you can only have 3 total either weapon or ability attachments on any given character. This is different. This is a support droid. This is an entirely separate entity. Not a character. It can't be killed. But like if I were to exhaust hand now, I would roll both of these dice. But I would have to independently exhaust or activate R2-D2 in order to roll his die. So, sorry. Now it is your turn, sir.
Well, it's to be a learning experience. So, am I
Yeah.
doing this right? I'm going to cast 1 to cast Backup Specialist.
Okay.
The action to exhaust this support to reroll up to 2 of your dice.
Okay.
So, but I can't exhaust it this turn because my action was to play it?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's basically acts as R2-D2. Only it doesn't use a die. It simply has an action that it can do. So.
Okay. So that's my action, I believe.
My turn? Okay. So now I'm going to I'm going to go ahead and activate Han Solo. And I get to roll both these dice because he does have the hunting rifle attached to him. So I roll both of these. And I get 1 resource and 1 discard. So I will have the option of, at some point, using one of these dice if I want to, providing they're still around, and either gain 1 resource, or I can do force Travis to discard a card from his hand. Now, because you've got 2 disrupts there, I'm a little leery about bringing any resources into my hand before those are gone, so I'm going to pass the turn to you.
Okay. I think what I'm going to do doesn't do a heck of a lot, but I'm going to exhaust my Stormtrooper.
Okay.
To roll his dice.
Okay.
Come on, big attack money.
Oh, and it is. It is.
A 2 for ranged.
Yes.
Okay, that was my action, correct?
Yes. Yes, it was. Okay, so now it's mine. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and activate Luke Skywalker. Roll him up here. So I got a blank, unfortunately, and 1 shield.
Should have put the gun on him.
Yeah, kind of kicking myself for that now as well too. But so there we go. That's my move, and I'm going to pass the turn to you.
Okay, I'm debating.
Oh, you know what? I actually forgot about his special ability. But after you activate this character, you may re-roll a die. So I could have forced you to re-roll a die.
Maybe I'm going to resolve my dice.
Yeah.
So I'm going to shoot at somebody essentially. I'm
doing
2 range damage to. Sure, to Luke Skywalker.
To Luke Skywalker. Okay.
That was my action?
That was your action.
So does this dice go away now or anything?
Yes. Now it goes back onto your character. So now that die is spent. Okay, now you have no other way that I can see on the table as far as doing damage to me. So I'm going to go ahead. I don't need to do any of this yet. I'm going to go ahead and activate R2-D2 and roll his die. Okay, now I do end up with a special ability for R2-D2, which is great. So that is going to allow me to, if I want to draw a card, and you may turn 1 of your dice to any side. So keep that up there. Actually, I might as well put that in between these 2. And now it's your turn.
Okay. Not knowing anything any better, I'm going to exhaust the support to reroll 2 of my dice.
Okay.
Hoping for more attack options, because that's what I do.
Yeah, because I had no resources, so being able to disrupt my resources. So you get a resource and a disrupt.
Lovely. Obviously not at all what I was going for. That's my action.
Okay. I'm going to resolve or use the special ability die. So I'm going to, for R2-D2, and I'm going to draw a card, and I may turn 1 of my dice to any side. So I'm going to draw a card, and I'm going to turn Luke to 1 resource. So I'm not really going to be doing much in the way of damage this turn. But so now it's your turn, sir.
Okay. I will spend that dice to get another resource, so that's the right way to do it.
Yep.
And that's my action.
That is your action. Okay. So you still have the disrupt up.
What?
So I'm going to...
I resolved the dice. That was what I did. I resolved the dice.
I'm going to resolve Han's discard dice and force you to discard a card. Now, wait, let me just check because I want to make sure. Discard random cards. So what you're going to do is you're going to fan it out in front of me. You can just hold it up like this. Like that. That's perfect as well, too. And I'm going to pick one. I'm going to pick this one. And it is...
Hunter Instinct.
Ooh, it's a die card as well, too. So.
It is, yeah. Deal 1 damage to a character or 2 damage instead if that character has 3 or more damage on it.
Okay. Well, that's going to go to your discard pile. And so that was my move. So your turn. Oh, excuse me, your turn.
So I can spend resources. And I don't think I have many actions to do other than to... Was it something about discarding a card and doing something?
Well, what you do is you basically have the options of either playing a card from your hand,
yeah.
Activate a character support, which you can't do because you're already done. Resolve your dice, which would be this one here, but I have no resources, so disrupting would do nothing. Discard a card to re-roll your dice. So if you want to discard a card, you could re-roll that die. use an action, use a card action.
I'm going to discard a card, sure.
Or claim the battlefield. Or pass. You can just pass to me if you want to see what I'm going to do.
Okay. Pass. No. Nobody.
Okay.
You've already claimed the battlemeld, though, haven't you?
No, I have. I started off with the battlefield, so.
I'm going to play discard. Superior position. Play only if you control the battlefield. Remove a die.
Okay.
I'm going to do that to reroll.
Sure.
Boba Fett's one. Come on, big Boba Fett. Sorry. 2 ranged. I knew that was going to happen.
That was a resource. No, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay, yeah. No, that's an action. No, I passed 2.
Oh, so that's good though. I mean, it's
you can do action
2 melee, right?
Which
so
did more than resolve or remove a resource you didn't have anyway.
Okay, well, I'm actually going to resolve Luke's shield, and I'm going to put a shield on Luke, because Luke's already taken 2 damage, and I don't fancy him taking much more. And now I'm going to move it, pass the turn to you again.
I'm going to discard it. I don't know if I'm doing this right at all. I'm going to discard a card to reroll that dice.
Oh, so you just don't want to do 2 damage to me?
I think I want to do something more.
Okay, go for it.
But my odds of doing that are 1 in 6.
You do know that you get to basically redraw up to 5 cards at the end of the turn, right?
So 2, you don't discard your hand?
No, you don't have to discard your hand. So you will be able to be back up to 5 if you want.
Then I'm going to hang on to these cards.
Okay.
And I will choose to do 2 damage to Luke.
To Luke? Okay, so I'm going to take 1 shield away, and I'm going to take another point of damage, so that's going to put me at 3.
So the difference between melee and range is to have a functionality?
Not really. There may be certain cards that are specific to one or the other, but it's basically so that there's 2 different types of damage, so that it's not possible that someone constantly rolls like just a damage number. It's sort of split up. So because when you resolve dice in the game, if you were to have 2 melee, a 1 ranged, and a 1 ranged, you could resolve both ranged at the same time or one of the ranged, but you can't resolve the ranged along with the melee. So it's sort of like they have to be separate actions for separate types of dice.
Okay.
So it's basically any number of die with the same symbol, or like just another symbol.
Okay.
So, I'm not sure if that made sense. Once again, there's better tutorials out there than this. This is sort of more of us getting to know the game and to play a little bit. So
I resolved the dice and I passed you.
Okay, so now I could basically claim 2 resources, or I could claim the battlefield again and get half the number of resources, but get to go first next turn. And I would draw a card as well, too. So you know what? I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to claim the battlefield once again. So these are going to go away. And then I'm going to gain 1 resource because I claimed the battlefield. And I'm going to draw a card. And that's going to be the end of my turn. So I can't take any more actions now that I've claimed the battlefield.
Are the resources, do they go away and then you just get 2 more kind of thing? Or do
they stay. They stay.
So you more? Okay.
Yeah.
Then I think I'm just going to pass because I have no options on the table to do and I don't want to do any of my card options.
Okay. So then we're going to do basically sort of like an upkeep step here where we unexhaust. We ready our characters. So we're both going to get 2 resource.
Loading up the resource now.
And we're going to draw up to 5 cards. Now, I've already got 5 cards in my hand.
I'm going to draw 3 cards.
Yeah, I'm fine with keeping these cards. So now I get to go first because I am in control of the battlefield still. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to activate Luke Skywalker.
Exhaust your Skywalker.
So I got 1 melee and 1 blank, which is awful. And then it's your turn, sir.
You got R2 as a backup there. So I think this is the wisest move I'm going to make. Spending 2 resources.
Okay.
To cast Cunning. It was one of the ones I talked about earlier.
Yes.
I added this deck. Sorry, bumped those under. It's upgrade ability, yellow character only, so it has to be Boba Fett. Oh no. It was 2 resources. It gets a dice of its own. Here's my cunning dice.
There it is.
And there we go. So that's
And what's your special ability there?
Oh, I should have read that. So if I do get a special, you know what it's called? Yes. I could use a special ability on another card in play as if it were my card. So I could use specialty.
One of mine as well, too.
I believe
that includes one of mine,
special?
R2's got a special.
Yeah. Right.
So, yeah. Okay.
So, and exhausting that card is separate from exhausting Boba Fett, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's your turn, sir.
Alrighty. Well, I'm going to. What am I going to do? I'm going to spend 2 resources, and I'm going to play the event Heightened Awareness. It's got Ambush. You may take 1 additional action after you play this card. Give a character 3 shields. So I'm going to go ahead and give Luke 3 shields because he's hurting. He needs the shields. And now,
3 of 11.
Because this has Ambush, I get to play again. So I'm going to also go ahead and activate R2-D2 here. And I get a special as well, too, which is great for me, which is super, super great. And then it's going to be your turn now.
Okay. Let's just go ahead and activate Boba Fett here. See what we get out of activating Boba Fett here. When we activate, it's Boba Fett.
Oh, and remember, you also get to roll his cunning die as well, too.
You do? Oh, I thought you had to activate that.
No, because that's now an ability that he has. So it's all.
But it gets exhausted.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. It technically gets exhausted. It doesn't really matter if it's exhausted or not because it's just equipment. So you may want to roll
back here.
Just
so
there.
Knock your stuff over.
That was just
that makes sense.
An idea. And then you'd move on.
Boba Fett. Oh, you got a special though.
Yes, but it's not on
the cunning dice.
Yeah.
No. Cunning dice was just a disrupt. So Boba Fett's though special once again is I can deal damage to a character equal to the value showing on a dice, yours or an opponent's. Okay. I exhausted Boba Fett. Big old sigh.
I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to activate Han Solo. And after you activate this character, you may reroll a die. So yours or your opponent. So I'm going to actually reroll your special die.
Me? Thank you. It's called karma. The force was strong with my dice. Though.
Okay. So then I get a +2 blaster, which is going to cost me 1 resource if I want to use it. Or +2 range, I should say, not blaster. And then I get a +1 resource, but it's blue, which means that can only augment another die that has the same result. So, and now, Travis, I'm gonna pass it to you.
Okay. I'm gonna exhaust my Stormtrooper here.
Okay.
On big money.
Ooh, a blank.
Yeah,
big
sense
blank.
for them.
Okay.
You got nothing. Veteran, you're a veteran of nothing.
I'm gonna go ahead and resolve the special die for R2-D2 and draw a card. And then I'm going to use the second part of it, which is you may turn 1 of your dice to any side. I'm going to go ahead and turn Luke's blank to 1 resource, actually. And now it's your turn, sir.
I just have a question. If a card says to spot a red character, what does that mean to spot?
Okay. Spotting is a keyword where you have to have basically a character of that color on your side of the board. It doesn't matter if they're readied or exhausted. But you still have to have it. So if we spot a red character, for example, you have the veteran Stormtrooper. But if your veteran Stormtrooper was killed off, you wouldn't be able to spot a red character.
Okay.
And for me, if I had something that said spot a yellow character and Han was dead, I wouldn't be able to say, oh, there's Boba Fett. It has to be your own character.
Okay.
So that's the spot mechanic, as far as I know.
What I'm going to do first off is only thing I can do apparently, I'm going to resolve this to disrupt to remove resource. I believe that's correct.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And this goes back to...
Fair play, sir, fair play.
That's my turn?
That's your turn. Okay, so what I'm going to do is... I'm going to resolve the resource dice. Now, this is, once again, a blue +1, which means I would need a resource dice, which is why I turned this one to a resource. So I'm going to get 2 resource by doing this. And
yeah, but you don't have 3.
No.
That's the important thing, hopefully.
I do not have 3.
Hopefully that matters.
Then I'm going to pass the turn to you, because really there's nothing else I can do.
I'm going to tap that to exhaust that to reroll 2, right? Exhaust this support to reroll up to 2 of your dice.
Yep.
Yeah. Both of these count. Want something better? Nope. And
Ooh,
not
a blank and 1 ranged.
Yeah, that's Boba Fett shooting blanks over here.
Okay, so now it's mine.
Yeah. You're a veteran of very little now, but more than Boba Fett apparently.
Now I can't use the ranged without spending a resource.
Oh, that's a little 1 there means.
Yeah. I'm going to discard dangerous maneuvers. to reroll both of my dice. Okay, so now I have my phone buzzing. I have one ranged right here, and I have one resource. So now it is your turn. I'm going to check my phone.
Okay. Very professional of you. So I'm going to play a card. It's an event.
Okay.
Costing me a resource. It is called Locked and Loaded. It's got an awesome minigun on it. Spot a character. I'm spotting. My veteran Stormtrooper is spotting.
Spot a red character.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm spotting him. To turn up to 2 of your dice to show sides showing direct damage. Now I only have the 1 dice that shows it, but I believe that means I got to put this at a 3 direct damage.
Oh, can I see this for a second? To show indirect damage.
Indirect damage, that's what it is, yeah.
Show up 2 of your dice to sides showing indirect. Now,
But I only have the 1 dice that shows indirect damage. He doesn't have indirect damage, and he's cunning. He's got no indirect or direct damage. He's just cunning.
oh, that's right. Okay, sorry.
So a bit of a waste, but it is what it is. But I got plans.
Well, you may think it was a bit of a waste before,
Oh, come on.
but now you may really think it's a bit of a waste. I'm going to spend 2 resources, and I'm going to play an event card called Alter. Turn up to 2 dice to the sides of your choice, yours or your opponent's. So I'm going to turn this to a blank, and I'm going to turn this to a blank as well too.
You think maybe I had a combo set up to use his ability and then use his grenade? But
And now it's your turn.
I can discard a card to reroll everything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to discard that. This may yet.
And then this goes to the discard.
I think my odds are actually terrible, but this may yet come out better, and I'm going to laugh if I
It's
get
possible.
a special and a really roll that.
Well, I re-rolled one of his before, and it went right back to his special. And you did. You ended up with a special and a 2 melee.
But I don't have my 3. It would have been nice to 3 and then 3, because that would have been,
that would have been
that'd
nice.
been 6 damage over, doing cool stuff. That's my turn. I really wanted that to work.
I mean, you do still have certain options, which I think...
Yeah, I have options, but I haven't used any of my dice, really. But that one was going to be sweet, because it's going to be 6 damage. If I know what I'm doing, which I clearly don't. The only way to get anything good out of your veteran Stormtrooper is using the character's ability.
Okay, I'm going to resolve this resource and gain 1 resource. And now it's your turn, sir.
I was almost looking to draw a card. It's almost natural. My turn? Sweet. What better options do I have? So I can use that to deal damage, because you have nothing more than 2 anyway. To a character equal to the value shown on a dice, yours or others. There's a value shown on dice. I'm going to exhaust, or I'm going to use this dice, resolve this dice, to deal 2 damage to Luke.
Okay. Now,
Picking on the Skywalker.
can this be blocked? It doesn't say anything about not being able to be blocked, right?
I have no idea.
So I'm going to take 2 shields away.
Okay, that's my go. I resolve that dice.
I haven't done anything to you, any damage to you whatsoever. So I'm going to go ahead and just, for funsies, do 1 range damage to the guy without shields. I'm actually going to do it to your Stormtrooper, because I think he's the bigger threat.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Keeps rolling
Boba
blanks.
Fett's a punk. I'm going to pass the turn to you, sir.
Yeah, I'm going to exhaust, or I'm going to resolve Boba Fett to deal 2 damage to...
Okay. So 1 shield and 1 damage.
Okay.
So Luke is now down to 7.
Yep.
I'm going to claim the battlefield. So I'm going to gain 1 resource, and I'm going to draw a card. Okay.
I'm going to spend 0 resources to attach Hunker Down, or to play Hunker Down. Hunker Down's upgrade ability. If attached character takes melee damage, discard this upgrade. Otherwise, I can exhaust this upgrade to give attached character 1 shield. Now, does it have to go on him because of yellow, or that's just how those kind of...
No, it doesn't have to go on him unless it's specific. Like you did have a card specifically before. Yeah, this one, for example, said specifically has to be yellow. Yeah. It just, you need a yellow character in order to have that card in your deck. But since you have that, you can put that in either of those cards, or either of those characters, I should say.
So it was a 0 resource. I don't have to use my resource, and then you've already claimed the battlefield, so you can't do anymore.
I can do anything.
So I get like another action now.
You get another action.
So
as many actions as you want.
I can activate this now to give him a shield.
Yep.
Because that's what his action is. Exhaust this upgrade to give attached character shield.
Yeah.
See, I mean, the good thing about doing that then is that there was no way that he could have taken melee damage and just lost that card off.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so I got like 2 free actions, which was able.
No, that was really well. That was really well timed.
Well, really well, but yours was really well timed when I had stuff in place.
Yeah.
But I think because I could discard this to reroll that to almost get a free kind of shot at you, but
yeah,
really, I think I'd rather hang on to this card than just.
You're still like. you're winning this game so far, because that's the thing. It's like you've got 4 on him, so it's like I felt very good about being able to turn those 2 dice, but at the end of the day, I'm still hurting more.
6 damage you took off the board.
Oh yeah.
So that was.
Well, I'm not saying it wasn't a brilliant play, Travis. I'm just simply saying that you still seem to be ahead. So.
Brilliant. So because we're ending it, going to upkeep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So we draw up to 5 cards.
You're cunning.
Interesting.
And you can hunker down, and you both get backup specialist.
And I'm going to gain 2 resources. And you're going to gain 2 resources. And you're going to gain 2 resources.
All right, Oprah. Slow this down there.
And then we get to ready everything again.
I believe.
Interesting. I'm going to do this. I'm going to spend 4 resources. I'm going to bring out the good old Millennium Falcon.
Flavor win.
So we've got the die for it here. And it's a support vehicle. After you activate the support, you may activate one of your characters. Travis, it's your turn, sir.
Okay.
I'm really enjoying this so far. I'm really enjoying the mechanics of this game so far. I'm not sure if you've formed an opinion on it quite yet, but
I'm getting there.
Okay.
I'll say one thing. I find it a little slow. That's one thing you do, one thing other. But it's also, we're taking a lot longer to do that one thing.
Yeah.
So once it'd be probably
that's the thing.
Once,
because I've seen games where they start playing because it goes a lot. We're taking more. One, we're reading the cards because a lot of the times we don't know what the cards do, right? But I think once that pace, I think picks up once you get used to the game a bit more.
I'm exhausting Boba Fett, and rolling all 3 dice.
Sure. But I really like this sort of action-reaction type thing. You keep getting the special ability.
What is that one? I'm guessing it was a re-roll or something?
That is Focus.
Oh.
Turn dice to new side in your pool. So you can't use that on your opponent's die. Okay, so that's your action?
Yep.
I'm going to go ahead and exhaust the Millennium Falcon to roll the die. And after you activate the support, you may activate one of your characters. So I'm going to roll for the Falcon, which is 2 resource. And I'm going to activate Luke. And I'm going to get 2 ranged and a single ranged. And now it's your turn, sir.
No, you know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to exhaust him.
Okay.
I am going to spend 2 resources to cast, I keep saying cast, Entangle. Spot a yellow character.
Okay.
To remove up to 2 dice showing combined value of 3 or less. So I can remove those 2 dice. Is that what I think it means? Means you remove them?
Can I read it? Sorry, just because I think that's what it means. Yeah. So that's not even like turn them. That's remove them. So they're gone. So now.
Well, they're not from this round.
I can't. Yeah, this round.
Yeah.
But that's good enough, in my opinion. That's good enough, sir. Well, I dislike you a lot. That really hurt me. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and activate Han Solo. Okay, so he gets +1 resource in blue, which is not the greatest, and 1 disrupt. Oh, and wait. After you activate this character, you may reroll a die. Now I'm going to go ahead and reroll this. I'm suck at that. I suck at that. So it went from special ability to special ability again. So now it's your turn.
Okay. Now I'm going to exhaust that Stormtrooper. Come on, indirect. Oh, sucks, Stormtrooper.
He gets blanks a lot. Now, he does have 2 blank spots, but I mean, he gets blanks a lot.
He's a Stormtrooper.
Yeah.
That was my action.
Okay. Well, let's get R2-D2 in the mix here. Special. Excellent. Always special with him. And now it's your turn.
I mean, I'll go for the combo again, and you'll disrupt it with R2 special ability, which is what?
R2, draw a card. You may turn one of your dice to any side. So I can't do that too.
I'm going to exhaust that English one. Exhaust the same to reroll up to my dice. So obviously these 2. Come on, better. Make it better. Nah, that's a disrupt.
It's better in the sense that they're not blanks, right?
Yeah. But not what I was obviously going for. And then that was my action, was to exhaust my resource.
Okay, I'm going to resolve this disrupt and make you lose a resource. Right back to you.
Okay. I'm going to take flight, reroll up to 2 of my yellow dice. No, sorry, I took my hat on that one. It has to be yellow dice, not dice.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, I obviously want to reroll that to get the combo. So I don't want to use that card. I think I've still found a way to do kind of what I want to do. At least set myself up to get disrupted by you. So this is a focus. Turn dice to new side. So I can focus to turn that to a new side.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So I'm going to exhaust or abuse that dice to turn this to what I wanted it. Okay.
Yeah. You can definitely do that.
That's what it would do instead of that other thing I wanted to do.
So this is going to be kind of potentially dangerous for me. In response to that, I'm going to probably frustrate you a little bit. Though you are going to get something out of this. You're going to get something out of this.
I want something out of this, obviously.
I'm going to play Hasty Exit. It's 0 cost resources, so it doesn't cost me anything. Give control of the battlefield to an opponent. So now you have control of the battlefield. You have control of the battlefield. I can't take control of the battlefield. You now have control of the battlefield. Remove a die showing damage. So either ranged, melee, or that one. So I'm going to remove that die.
That sucks.
But now you don't have, like, and as well too, you don't really get anything out of it.
No, I didn't.
In order to basically use this card, I would have to have control of the battlefield. So that's sort of like an extra cost. I was thinking basically it allows you to claim the battlefield for free and keep going. That's not the case. It's basically only that I would have had to have control of the battlefield in order to use this, which I did, luckily. So you don't get anything.
No, I know. I
sorry. Yeah, you lost a little bit there. So, but still,
So. Then I'm going to play that card I tried playing earlier called Ambush.
Okay.
To reroll up to 2. I'm only going to reroll the 1.
Oh, it's called Take Flight.
Take Flight, pardon me. But it has ambush.
Yeah.
So I get to take an additional action after this.
Okay.
And I'm only going to reroll the 1 because I obviously want to keep that.
Yeah, I understand
that around. Woohoo!
Oh, nice. 2 ranged.
2 ranged. So then my second one is going to be to use his ability to deal 2 damage to Han.
Okay.
Solo. So that goes there because I used his special.
Okay, so he takes 2.
Those are my 2 actions. Back to you, disrupting
to
McGupty over there.
Trying to decide what I would like to do. I'm going to do this. I'm going to resolve R2D2's special. I'm going to draw a card.
No, sorry. The event happened.
Yes.
It can be said that it happened.
And then I'm going to use the second part of this, which is you may turn one of your die to any side. And I'm going to turn Hans to, I think that's the highest he's got yet. So, but I don't want that one. I want it to, there we go, to 2 blaster without having to spend a resource. And now it's your turn again.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is just resolve this other one to deal 2 damage to Luke's.
To Luke?
Luke this time.
Okay, so now Luke's got 6 on him, so he's down to 5.
That was my action.
Okay. For my action, I'm going to resolve both ranged and do all the damage to the Stormtrooper.
So I'll take 1 helmet out. How many total? 3?
4 in total.
4 in total. So 2, and then it gets 3 more.
So he is down to 5 as well. So now it's your turn.
Yeah, I'm going to exhaust that to put a helmet back on him. Put your helmet on, dum-dum!
And I'm going to claim the battlefield.
Okay.
So I'm going to draw a card, and I'm going to gain a resource. And now that makes I'm out of it, so it's whatever you would like to do.
I'm going to, for 0 resources, play Crackdown. Play only if each of your opponent's character has 1 or more damage on them.
Okay.
Gain a resource. It's not much, but it's better
something.
Than a kick in the bum.
Yeah.
Got my resource. I believe I believe I exhausted all my actions.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Here we go. How many cards do I have in hand?
Did Han have a melee?
Does he have a I don't think he does.
No, he's got ranged. Okay.
He's got 2 ranged, and he's got discard and a couple resource ones, a blue and a regular one.
And I'm going to draw 3 cards.
And we're going to gain 2 resources. I'm not going to draw anything because I've got 5 cards in hand, and I'm going to keep them all. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to spend 3 resources, and I'm going to play Heirloom Lightsaber
Ooh.
It is an upgrade weapon. This weapon has the redeploy keyword while it's on a blue character. After this character is defeated, move this card. So I'll be able to move this over to Han Solo, as opposed to a regular piece of equipment, which would simply be discarded when the character dies as well.
Yeah,
now, this does have its own die, so now Luke is going to be rolling 3 when he is activated, and
what's Han going to do with lightsaber? There's no tauntauns to cut open here.
I was just going to say, he did use it once, right? He used it, so it's,
you know what? Back in the day, that was my proof that non-Force users could use a lightsaber. I thought maybe it was because up to that point in the thing, I guess
you hadn't really seen that.
I think so.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing it. No, not up to that point. I don't think they, because not everyone was carrying one around. There's only like 3 people.
And I hadn't read the whole, expanded universe at that point. So
yeah,
there's proof.
There is one character from the extended universe which has now been folded into canon, and he is going to be in this game as well too, or he's already in this game. Thrawn, I think his name is. He's the blue Imperial
badass general.
He's a very cool character.
Yes,
it's Timothy Zahn, I believe, is the name of the author who created him. So. And it's got to be kind of nice to know that the entire extended universe, up until that point, was discarded as far as canon, and yet they're like, no, your character that you created is gonna stay in. So it's got to be a nice feeling for someone. I know my character in my Star Wars fanfiction was not included into canon, despite all the letters.
Don't loop all that in. So I think I'm gonna do a play here.
Okay.
So for 0, I'm gonna play Quick Draw. It's an event. Play a weapon card from your hand on one of your characters, paying its cost, and I may activate that character.
Oh, wow.
So
okay.
It sounds like a 3-for-1 here. Because I'm going to pay for 3, though.
That seems really costly. Good.
Paying all 3 for wrist rockets.
Oh, I remember that card from reading it. Okay, so you're playing that on...
Well, it has to be yellow character only. So it has to be on. Not that it wouldn't, because, hello, flavor. Wrist rockets, it's a weapon upgrade. So I roll dice with it. And I deal 2 damage. If I get a special, his special is deal 2 damage to a character. I may spend 1 resource to deal 2 damage to a character. Hang on. So deal 2 damage to a character. Oh, I guess I may also then spend. Is that how I'm reading that? So I get to, by activating his special, I deal 2 damage, but then I may also pay a resource to do 2 damage?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it has a mana cost. Okay. So, and then as part of that, I may activate this character.
Now remember to grab the die for the wrist rockets.
Yeah, I'm just going to give himself some room here.
Holy cow.
Wrist rockets.
That is nice.
Check it and see. I'm going to make some annoying noise from my wrist rockets for me.
Got it? There you go.
Okay. So by activating him, I'm activating Everton.
Yeah. You can probably just turn him and leave the other ones unturned if you want, because it's probably going to make it easier that way.
Sure.
Sure.
That might have mattered. I don't know. Okay. I'm going to roll in the middle there, so watch your dice. I touched that one, but it was like a...
Wow, and right off the bat, you get the special with the wrist rockets?
And a 2 on the middle.
What is this nonsense?
But the wrist rockets, man, it has a 4 on the ranged. Man, 4.
Oh, it's a 4 on the indirect damage, yeah.
But I have to spend a resource to get that 4, I believe, because I got the resource beneath it. But again, that's pretty sweet. That
he's got a focus. The wrist rockets has a special, and then it's 2 melee and 1 resource for Boba Fett. Wow. Okay.
That's all.
So then it's me. Now his special on the wrist rockets, it's 2 damage, and then if you spend an additional resource, which you could potentially do, I'm going to go ahead and activate Han here. Actually, you know what? No, I'm not. I'm going to activate the Millennium Falcon. Roll 2 resource, and then after you activate the support, you may activate one of your characters, and I'm going to activate Han. Roll his, which is a blank and a resource. And then I'm going to use Han's ability, which is after you activated this character, you may reroll a die, yours or an opponent's, and I'm going to reroll your wrist rocket special, which I know may actually work out to your favor if you get the one that you want. No. And it's a discard, 1 discard. So here we go. So 2 resource, 1 resource, and a blank. Which way are these facing? There we go. And now it's your turn. Do what you will, sir. Do what you will.
I think I will activate a Stormtrooper for his whopping 1 dice.
Okay.
2 for a pistol. Not terrible.
Yeah, not bad. 2 ranged.
What do you say?
I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to activate Luke.
Yeah,
Okay.
is that lightsaber?
Yes, as well too. Oh yeah, I don't have to tap select.
No, but there's a dice. Oh, that's R2.
It is. Yeah, it is on there. Yeah.
No, I'm saying the R2D2 one. That's separate.
Oh, the R2D2 is separate. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got one resource, one melee, and another melee. Okay, so now it's your turn.
Okay. Change the wrist rockets. I can at least take 2 damage.
So you used focus to change that to special.
Focus to change that to special.
Okay.
For what it's worth, how long it's going to last, probably not long, but there it is.
Alrighty, so it's my turn. Yes. I'm going to play Bamboozle. Reroll an opponent's die. If it just rolled a blank, take 1 resource from them, which you don't have. I was actually going to wait for that, but I don't want that to stay as a special.
Don't binks me, man.
So, well, 2 ranged. 2 ranged, which is still. And now it's your turn.
You jar-jarred me, man?
I jar-jarred you. I binksed you. I binksed you for real.
This feels bad if I do this. Just to reroll it again.
Do it. That's what I like about this game so far. It's like it's like I said, it's probability manipulation. It's you don't have to settle for the outcomes a lot of the time.
I am, and I'm going to choose reroll his 2 damage.
Yeah,
because I kind of need that resource so I can use it.
And playing so far has really made me appreciate the power of cards that say remove a die.
Yes.
Because then you don't have to worry about them being re-rolled anymore.
Shut down someone's plans.
Yeah.
Got the resource back.
Resource and discard.
Lost. Yeah, that actually worked out not in my favor, but it's all about the gamble.
Yeah. Okay. What I'm going to do now, actually, is I'm going to resolve both melee dice here and use it on the Stormtrooper. So he's got 1 shield, but he is going to take 1 melee damage, which should remove the what's it called?
Hunker down.
Hunker down.
The upgrade ability, yeah.
Okay, so he's going to take 1 damage at the end of that.
Yeah.
And that is my turn. Oh, and the shield's gone. Get that shield out of there. Get it out of there, Travis.
It ain't coming back anytime soon. Okay, I have damage I could do. Yeah, I'll use my dice to deal 2 damage to Luke Skywalker. The only reason I did any damage
I've got to start protecting him more.
To him was because that 1 card for me to draw a resource, both you guys had to have at least 1 damage.
Okay, so 2 to Luke.
2 to Luke. 2 to Luke.
6, 8. So he's down to 3. He only needs 3 more damage and then he's toast. So it's my turn now?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to activate R2D2. That's 1 resource.
Looks like
It's the first time I haven't been able to get his special.
Yeah.
And now it's your turn again.
So discard a card to reroll my dice.
Yeah.
Do I want to keep dirtling around though, or do I want to just do something? I think I'm going to keep dirtling around.
Okay.
Although I also need resources. I think I'm going to dirtle around a little bit more. I'm discarding Rumors. It's 1 resource. Force an opponent to choose a card in their hand, then look at all the other cards and have them discard 1.
You're just discarding that one, you said, right?
Yeah, I'm just discarding
to reroll everything.
Well, it says reroll your dice, right?
Yeah, no, yeah.
Well,
go for it. No, do what you need.
I'm sacrificing resources for trying to get direct damage out here to hopefully remove Luke Skywalker.
No, I'm not saying it's a bad decision. I'm simply stating what's happening, sort of thing. But you need a resource for that one.
I need a resource for that, and I have no way of turning that to a resource.
Well, it's 2 more melee damage though, as well too, which could be disastrous for me.
Yep. All right, that was my silly action because I'm a gambler.
Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and resolve my resource dice. So 2, 3, 4. I'm going to take 5 resources. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now it's your turn again.
Do I choose to continue to gamble?
Now remember, you can also pass if you just simply want to see what I'm going to do.
No.
Or you can claim the battlefield. You don't have to resolve these dice.
When I claim the battlefield, do I get a resource?
You will get a resource and draw a card.
But then that's all I can do for the rest of
the turn. That's all you can do for the rest of the turn. So if you do want to resolve any of these dice, which is there's only one you can really resolve, you would need to do that before you claim the battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
And keep in mind what you're staring at right now is someone who's got 1 die, which is a blank. So there's a very good chance that I'm going to claim the battlefield next turn.
I will resolve this dice on Luke Skywalker.
On Luke?
On Luke.
Okay, so he's got 6, 7, 8. So now he's got 9, 10.
He has 10 damage?
Yeah, 10 damage. He's only down to 1 more.
Down to 1 more. All right, that was my action.
Righty. I'm going to discard Maz's Vault, which is a support location. Each player gains 1 additional resource during the upkeep phase. And I'm going to re-roll. That was useful. There we go. So now it's your turn again.
I'm going to discard this one to re-roll. If I can get 1 more damage on Luke, then
Luke's gone.
Luke's gone, and you don't get you take a whole character away next turn, kind of thing.
Yeah. So you need to roll either. Oh, it's a disrupt.
Disrupt.
So you can take 1 of my resources if you want.
It's your turn.
I'm going to pass to you. I wonder if the microphone picks up my stomach rumbling right now.
I don't think I've ever heard of it. I think I got to pass back to you.
Now, do you want to pass or do you want to claim the battlefield?
I guess I can, first off, I can make you lose a resource.
Yes, if you want, yeah.
No, I'm not going to re-roll that one. I'm not going to discard my card.
Okay, so I'm going to lose a resource, and then for my turn, I'm going to claim the battlefield.
Gain a resource.
Gain a resource, yeah. And draw a card. So now it's your turn.
I want to keep that one.
Okay. So move on to the next one?
Yeah.
Wow, Luke is just...
But I spent a lot trying to get rid of him, and I didn't do it, so that's all bad on me.
Luke is in a lot of pain right now. A lot of pain.
So we
draw 2. I'm going to spend 2 resource. And I'm going to play an upgrade ability, which is Force Focus. To play spotted blue character. We got Luke. He's still around. He's still alive, even though he's on death's door. You may. It's got a special, and it's turn 1 of your dice to any side. You may reveal a blue card from your hand to turn an opponent's die to any side. So that's only if I can activate its special ability. I'm going to put that on Han because it doesn't have to be on a blue character. I just have to spot a blue character to play it. So that I'm going to bring his die in there. So now Han's got 3 and Luke's got 3, and now it's your turn, sir. Luke is
I'm
in trouble.
Activate Boba Fett.
Okay.
And roll the whole shebang.
The whole kit and caboodle.
1 special on Boba Fett, 1 resource on Boba Fett, 1 resource on the wrist rocket, and 1 disrupt on him. Yusa.
I'm going to spend 3 of my resources, and I'm going to play Bravado. Spot a yellow character, which I have right here, to remove an opponent's die. So I'm going to remove his special. And then deal 2 damage to a character. I'm going to deal 2 damage to them.
I can track where he's at here. So I'm going to add a 3 and take away 1. He's at 7.
Okay, so he's 2 away. And it's your turn again. It's interesting this may come down to like Boba Fett and Han Solo, which really it should. If 2 of them are going to battle it out, it should be those 2.
I'm going to activate my Stormtrooper.
Okay. Blank. Man, you've had the worst luck with that Stormtrooper.
Yeah, he's not as good as a Han Solo or a... That's your turn.
Okay. So I'm going to activate Luke. No, I'm not. Sorry. Once again, I keep forgetting about the Falcon here. I'm going to activate the Millennium Falcon. Get a blank. And then I'm going to activate Luke because after you activate this support, you may activate one of your characters. So it's a melee and 2 shields for Luke there. And now it's your turn, sir.
Activate that to reroll 2 dice.
Okay.
I think You're the best bet. One damage. And
One
disrupt.
ranged.
And
Disrupt. Okay. Well, I'm going to resolve these 2 shields. And not surprisingly, put them both on Luke. And now it's your turn, sir.
Okay. I am going to hope I do this right.
Okay.
Spend 2 resources to play Imperial Might. Resolve one of your dice, increasing its value by 2.
Okay.
3. I'm going to resolve that dice to do 3 damage to Luke Skywalker.
Okay. So Luke's at 9-10. He's got 2 shields, but
I thought you only had 1 damage on him. Sorry.
no,
I
he's got
told you
9.
that wrong.
He's got 9, 10, 11. So you did 3 damage to him, correct?
Yeah.
Oh no, wait. Now is it?
Increase it by 2 and then resolve that dice.
Okay.
So
that is lethal damage on
Okay.
Luke. Now, the heirloom lightsaber has redeploy. So this upgrade is redeploy keyword. After this character is defeated, move this card. So I'm going to move it over to Han. So that's going to go into. So it's now got Luke's lightsaber. He's like, avenge me, and Luke's die goes away as well too. So yeah. So Luke Skywalker is defeated.
That was my action.
That was your action. Okay.
Taken out by a Stormtrooper. Who saw that coming?
Now, as far as I know, because I've already actually used the heirloom, I don't think I get to use the dice when I activate Han.
I would think not, because it's already been...
I'm fairly certain that's...
Because that's what I was going to wonder about, that one where it was activate that character when you play the equipment. I'm like, in theory, could you activate that character and then resolve everything, and then at the end, bam, do that and reactivate him? I didn't think that was likely.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it like this so we know that we can't use that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate Han here. Just activate him and then roll his dice. Okay, so one resource, and a blank. So not the best that I was hoping for, but okay. So now it's your turn.
I'm going to choose discard a card because I really have no idea what it does.
Okay.
It's called Crash Landing. Remove a die showing damage of melee, ranged, or indirect. Then deal indirect damage to yourself equal to the value showing on that die.
Oh, okay. So that's basically like if for example, I would have probably done that to the range damage die. Like if I had used that card, I would use it on the range damage die, taking it away and then putting that damage on Han instead.
But remove a die. Where does it say deal damage to any other character? It says deal damage to you.
Then deal indirect damage to yourself equal to the value showing. But that indirect damage means that you get to choose where the damage goes.
Oh, see, I did not understand indirect damage.
So that's the thing. If I saw that, which I did as being lethal, but instead I put shields up, not enough, unfortunately. It's basically meaning you're taking damage, but you're taking it where you want it, and it would be, in this case, with the character that has very little damage on it as opposed to Luke, which was just getting beat to hell, so...
So I'm re-rolling my dice.
Okay.
Now, do I want to keep that resource? What better could I get? I could get his special and get damage out of it.
Yeah.
Which I think I want to do, although I do need resources at some point in this game.
Yeah.
But I mean, there was 2 of them were disrupt, which would...
But you still have other cards in hand that you can discard if you need to, right? So.
Yeah. Well, there's that resource back.
A cunning special.
His special, and 2 damage. Woohoo. So that was my action.
Okay. God, I'm gonna to discard riposte or riposte. I'm gonna reroll everything except for 1 resource. One of Han's 1 resource ones. Okay, so 2 ranged from the Falcon, a disrupt, and another resource back with the force focus. And now it's your turn, sir.
I will just at this point 2 damage on Solo, resolve that dice.
Sure.
I'm in.
So he's at 2, so 2 more will put him to 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my action.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to play Impulse for 0. It's an event, ambush, so I'm going to take an additional action after I play this card. Resolve one of your dice. So I'm going to resolve the 2 ranged and do it on your Stormtrooper there.
And that should be it for him, I think?
That should be it for him.
Yeah.
And then I get to do another action. And that action is going to be to activate R2-D2. And it's a special.
Nice.
Okay, and now it's your turn, sir. I know I said this earlier. I'm really enjoying this game. I think I'm losing, but I'm really enjoying this game.
You're really enjoying this game. Nice.
I am. I think that's a hallmark of a good game as well too, where it's you don't necessarily have to win to have fun. I think this would be more fun for me right now if I was winning, but yeah.
And that basically removes my resources.
Yeah, which you don't have any, right?
No,
so it's like, but if you do that, then I would just basically
I
could take it back. So
I will just resolve this to use the wrist rocket ability to deal 2 damage to Mr. Solo.
All right, so Solo's at 6 of his 10. So now it's my turn?
Now it is your turn.
Okay, so I'm going to use R2-D2 special to draw a card, and then I'm going to turn one of my dice to any side. And then I'm going to turn this to 2 ranged for a resource. And now it's your turn.
Time and start discarding cards. But I need to actually do some math here. I'm going to count my library.
Now, this is one of the
2,
things
3, 4.
is that you can basically have it in the game where you can continue on just holding the 1 card in your hand. So you have no cards in your library, you have 1 card in your hand. And providing your opponent doesn't make you discard it, which is a possibility, you can continue on. So that's sort of like a safeguard. But once again, your opponent can make you discard. And at least, Han does have a discard ability. Now, it's just 1 of his six sides, but still. With R2-D2, I could possibly change that.
So if I claim the battlefield, I get a resource.
And draw a card, yeah.
So I might as well do this first, get the resource, make you burn that, and then do that.
Yep.
If I know what I'm doing, I don't know what I'm doing. Yep. Do that, claim a resource, pass to you.
Okay. Now remember, I switched this, so I don't have a disrupt anymore. It's now a blaster for 1 resource.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to resolve my resources and gain 2 resources. So now it's your turn again.
I'm going to kind of waste a card here. Play only if each of opponent's characters has more than 1 damage. You only have 1 character. Remove 1 of that opponent's dice. So I'm saving myself, in theory, 2 damage here.
You jerk.
But, I mean, I got to play it.
Yeah.
You had something better to go with that, didn't you? Cook a combo piece or something.
Okay, well then on my turn,
Yeah.
I can clean the battlefield and draw a card.
Claimed a lot of battlefield. It doesn't work for you.
Okay. So now it's your turn. That's it?
That's it, yeah.
Okay.
That is it, yes.
Okay, so now...
You're gone. You're dead. You wouldn't matter.
And then I've got... I'm going to keep these 3 cards. I'm going to draw 2 more.
Precious resources.
Yeah, so I gain 2 more resources. All right?
Yeah.
So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend 2 resources. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm not going to spend 2 resources. I'm going to spend 1 resource, and I'm going to replace the hunting rifle with the hidden blaster. It's an upgrade weapon. It's got ambush. You may take 1 additional action after you play this. After you play this upgrade, you may remove 1 shield from a character.
Hey, now.
So I'm going to remove 1 shield from that character. Hey. And I'm going to replace that with the holdout blaster. Now, once again, it's got ambush, so I get to play again. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to then play Smuggler's Run, activate 1 of your yellow characters. If 1 or more of its character or upgrade dice rolls a resource, gain 1 resource. So I'm going to activate Han here. And then Han, who's got a blaster in 1 hand and a lightsaber in the other. And I'm going to gain 1 resource out of that. So there's 1 resource, and there's 2 melee, blue melee, and a 2 melee.
Damage.
Range. Plus 2 range, and a 2 range that requires 1 resources, and then 1 melee. And I am going to get 1 resource because of Smuggler's Run. Okay. Now it's your turn, sir.
Okay. So I'm going to do not quite what you did, but similar.
Okay.
So I can have 3 equipment attached to Boba Fett?
Yeah, you can have up to 3.
So I too am going to spend 2 resources to attach the hidden blast.
Oh!
So I get a blaster dice.
Yep.
And then it's ambush, so I do get to take another action, which is going
now,
to
I don't have any shields, so you can't use its secondary part.
No,
its ability, yeah.
That's why I was debating throwing it up. I'm like, no matter what, you get to do it and then, you know, activate everything. So I'm going to somewhat stack this a bit here. Okay. Big roll in here. Oh, jeez. So I get +2 to a ranged, and 2 melees, and 2 nothings. So that, pretty crappy.
Well, I mean, you still could resolve 4 melee damage if you want.
Womp. That was my action. Lose my voice for all that talking I don't do when I'm so intent in a game that I'm not paying attention to anything but the game.
Now that 4 melee is enough to do in Han here. Okay, so I'm going to spend 1 resource and play Mislead. Remove a character die showing a value of 2 or less. So I'm going to remove that one. And now it's your turn. So he's out of the woods, possibly, but I have no idea what you have in your hand.
Okay. I'm going to resolve that to do 2 damage.
To do 2 damage.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you've got 2 blanks and a blaster. Okay, so I'm going to activate R2. And it's a resource. Your turn.
Okay. I'm going to activate Backup Specialist to reroll 2 dice.
Okay. A discard and a blank. Okay.
Not helping me here.
Okay. So now I'm going to activate the Millennium Falcon and get 2 ranged. Okay, so now it's your turn. So I've got a potential of 6 range damage on the board here.
Okay. I'm going to reroll Unpredictable. It's got an ambush, but reroll. I'm going to play Unpredictable. It has ambush, so I'll get to take another turn, and I reroll a dice. Mine or an opponent's.
Okay.
Now, the +2 is going to affect either of those. So rerolling 1 not going to really help that much. So
but rerolling the +2, for example, would take it out of the equation.
But you also make something else.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to try getting a little more damage here.
Okay.
Because if I can get
if you can get a 2,
yeah,
like a straight up 2,
yeah,
then you
it helps. Or if I get a special, I can do 2 damage. Like that's what I'm basically going for here.
A resource.
Resource.
So that saved my bacon. So now you get another move, right? So Unpredictable goes to the discard.
Reroll and then take another move. So I'm going to cash this in for resources by other.
Okay. So you're going to gain a resource.
And then that's you.
I'm going to cash in my 6 range and do 6 range to Boba Fett.
That's pretty darn good. So we'll take 1 from the shield and then 5, which drops him down. Doesn't drop him down. He will have 6 left.
He has 6 life left?
So he's taking 5 more on top of what he just took.
Okay. Now it's your turn.
But I'll try it. We're gambling here.
Okay.
I'm going to play Face Off. Roll 1 of your character dice and an opponent character dice, but you don't have any character dice. I can't really do that.
No, you can't, yeah.
Oh, well, never mind that play.
That's when actually, but that brings up a good point because there are certain times where it's very specific about what type of dice you can roll. So. And now we know he's got Face Off. So.
But that can work against me too because I can take damage too with that.
Oh, okay. So just whichever one's being higher, is that how would that would? You don't have to tell me because you're not playing it, but
no. I'll read it off. Sure, whatever. We're all learning here. Face Off is invent. Roll 1 of your character dice and an opponent character dice. I choose. Then deal 2 damage to each character whose dice rolled the lowest. Both characters if it's tied.
Yeah, so that could have ended Han right then and there. So
yeah.
No, it makes sense. I'm so glad I resolved that.
Dice, yeah. So I'm going to spend or discard that to reroll my dice.
Okay.
Do it over here. A resource and a 1 damage.
going to spend 1 resource and use the Force is with me. Remove a die showing ranged damage or indirect damage. So I'm going to remove that die. Now it's your turn.
Something we can do here is...
You're going to discard and reroll, or are you going to get the resource?
So I got a 1 in 6 chance of getting his special, which means I can deal 2 damage to Han.
Mm-hmm.
But so I have 1 card, but if I have to discard, that's when I would lose the game.
Yeah.
I'm just going to cash this in for a resource.
Okay. I'm going to claim the battlefield. Gain a resource and draw a card because I really can't give you the first turn. So yeah, and that's it for me.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so I've got 2 in hand. I'm going to draw 3.
Draw 1.
So these are all my cards that I've got.
I'm milled but not dead by it.
Alrighty. So you've got no cards in your library left.
No cards in my library. You can make me discard 3 cards. I think you win. And I get 2 more of these.
Let me see what I drew here. I'm going to activate the Falcon.
Ooh,
3 blaster, and that's going to activate Han Solo. Alrighty, so 3 range from the Falcon, 1 range from the holdout blaster, a resource, a +1 resource, and a shield. Now, after you activate this character, you may reroll a die. Yours or an opponent's. I'm going to reroll Han's +1 resource. So it's now 2 ranged. So I've got 6 ranged on the board. And you've got 5 damage on that? Okay. So now it's your turn.
I think I'm going to activate my bounty hunter.
Okay.
So how much damage does he need to take?
2? He can do 6.
No, but he needs to take 2.
He needs to take... He's at 5 right now, so he would need 6 to die.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about your dude.
Oh, my die? 2.
Yeah.
He's at 8 right now. But keep in mind, I get to go first next. So.
Yeah. All right, so there's 2, nothing off the wrist rockets, 1 off the ranged, and 1 resource from my cunning. Okay.
So I'm going to spend 1 resource and do 6 to Boba Fett.
You use... Oh, that's how it works.
Yeah.
You use all. Okay.
Yeah, you can activate 1 or all as long as it's the same one, and these are all ranged. Yeah, so there we go. That was a hell of a game.
Yeah, long, but no,
it was, and I think it was like once again, I think it was longer for us because we're
reading
learning.
Cards.
Yeah, right. So edited down, it may not seem quite as long as it actually took to play out, but I really enjoyed it, and not just because I ended up winning at the end.
Yeah.
I'm glad I mentioned that a couple times during, because otherwise it sounds ridiculous. Where it's like at the very
end,
this is a great game. Yeah.
In the end, yeah.
But yeah, I think the mechanics of this game work really well. Like I didn't find it to be clunky at all.
I didn't know. I don't think I once claimed the battlefield because I don't know if it was advantageous of me to. So I'm still not sure how that, other than obviously it was working.
Allowing you to play first. And that's the only reason why this last one, I probably would have tried to do 1, because I had 1 melee damage. I could have like given you the battlefield, but then you would have been able to go first.
Yeah.
And given the situation, I really, really wanted to go first.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the entire game I ended up claiming the battlefield.
Yeah.
No. Because I was thinking I was cutting my own throat through a lot of that game about midway through, because I wasn't focusing on dealing damage. And meanwhile, Luke Skywalker was just getting beat and beat and beat. And all of a sudden I was like, should I have been concentrating more on like preventing that or something? But I was like trying to get equipment out and building up resources and stuff. So, and I'm sure we made mistakes. We tried to catch ourselves when we could, and we tried to even stop. Like a lot of time you won't see it with the editing, but there are times where we will sort of stop and then we will edit in or edit out a break where we had to check a rule on something because we wanted to try to be as accurate as possible. But I guarantee you we made at least 1 or 2 mistakes.
Oh yeah.
So, but yeah, like so overall, what do you think of the game?
I do like it as well. You know, I like that it's very similar to other TCG games I've played. So this was literally my first time playing, and I think by the end I've gotten the rules down. Strategy and rules are different things entirely. So yeah. I have strategy I need to develop, but for the most part, the base rules I do have a full understanding of. Especially how turn sequences go and I learned about dice. But you know, it's a fun game, and I would definitely play it again.
Okay, well that's good because I would love to
Stormtrooper.
play this one again. Maybe we even talked about some of the other starter sets we could try as well too, and maybe eventually if we really want to get into it, we could do some deck building a little later on. One of the things that I was kind of leery about doing on the Tabletop Trenches was another collectible game.
Yeah.
Just because the cost of that can get up there.
Yeah.
So I was a little bit leery, and then in the end we went with another collectible game. But given some of the products out there, and given how certain cards and dice seem to be priced on the secondary market, it doesn't seem to be too pricey. I mean, there's obviously some cards which are going to be more expensive than others, but I still think this is something we can revisit for sure, despite the fact that it is a collectible game. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the very first ever episode of Tabletop Trenches. Like I mentioned before, it's not always going to be Star Wars Destiny. We're going to try to switch it up as often as possible, but we are definitely coming back to this game at some point. So, any last thoughts or?
These being starter decks, I think what you said makes me realize why people like some of those intro Magic decks, because you can buy it and you don't have to worry about deck building per se. Like, I can play this deck against another similar power deck. I can get to know the game and I can have fun for a reasonable cost without like opening up the whole world that is deck building, which is a huge step in I think any TCG game, is to go from an intro product to making it your own kind of thing.
Because that's actually a good thing to mention before we end this, is that these starter decks cost about $17 Canadian. So that's about 14 something US, maybe something like that, maybe give or take a 50 cents here or there. But yeah, and it's even though it's not a legal deck in the sense it doesn't have 30 cards, it still allowed us to immediately play. And I mean, we didn't get down to the last few cards until the very end of the game anyways, right? Yeah. So it was a nice training tool. I think because we come from primarily playing Magic a lot of the times, especially on the channel, right? The starter decks for Magic, we always think we're kind of hard on, because it's like, why would you put this in the deck? Why would you put this in the deck?
But now that I've done something like this, it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, exactly what you said. It makes so much sense why starter decks are like this, because you get to look at it from the perspective of a brand new player, which is something we haven't been able to do for Magic for a long time. So it's great to be able to, and I like being able to augment it a little bit with I still love opening up booster packs, and I probably will open up some for the Star Wars one. They're very interesting. You haven't seen them because each one has a die. Yeah. It's like a pouch, right? Yeah. It's like a little pouch. So they're booster boxes, I think, like that. But yeah, it's definitely something I would like to play again. And it was fun to just learn a new game, right? So thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, comments, if you have any suggestions as to other games you'd like to see us play, I do have a list from a previous comment section where I asked you guys basically that question. So we are going to try to get around to as many of those games as possible. But let us know what you'd like to see, or let us know how maybe we can improve the Star Wars Destiny gameplay in the future if we revisit that anytime soon.
Cool.
Yeah. See you guys.